In a world where horrifying demons hide in plain sight, a powerful young hunter named Tang Ka is about to team up with a greedy broadcaster for the ultimate freelance payday. Armed with his golden nether eye and his partner's hidden S-rank demon, they're ready to clear out an eerie mansion for a massive fortune, even if it means walking straight into a deadly trap. But the supernatural threats in this city are everywhere. Just across town, a young man fresh off the train arrives at a rundown apartment complex in the dead of night. His real estate agent eagerly assures him the place is perfectly clean and a complete steal at just $800 a month. Exhausted from his travels, the tenant simply takes the key and sends the agent on his way. Walking back down the dark stairwell, the agent celebrates his massive stroke of luck. He smugly notes that it's a good thing they came so late, otherwise the meddling old landlady would have ruined the deal. He completely scoffs at her warnings about a ghost haunting the room, refusing to believe in the supernatural. But his arrogance is cut short when glowing spectral green hands suddenly reach out from the pitch-black shadows and violently drag him down. Meanwhile, completely unaware of the danger just outside his door, the exhausted tenant collapses into bed. But as a heavy thunderstorm rages over the city, the true horror of the cheap apartment reveals itself. From the darkest corners of the ceiling, a terrifying demonic figure with long dark hair and glowing green eyes slowly descends, reaching its shadowy claws right toward the sleeping man. Some time later, the greedy agent finally regains consciousness. A police officer tries to wake him up gently, but the elderly landlady, Granny Long, decides to speed up the process by viciously kicking him right in the face. Disoriented and terrified, the agent screams in panic, fully convinced the monster is still coming for him before realizing it's just the old woman. As the officer takes his statement, he notes that without security cameras, they have no way of knowing who pushed the agent down the stairs. But Granny Long knows exactly what happened. She glares daggers at the agent, furiously scolding him for being so blinded by money. She reminds him that she had explicitly warned him the room was cursed by something truly evil, yet his greed still drove him to lead an innocent person right to their doom. But the smug renting agent completely brushes her off. He insists the tenant just died of a heart attack and tells the old woman to stop spreading superstitious nonsense, even as she screams that the boy's blood is on his hands. Outside the apartment building, Tang Ka is already on the case, but as he scans the crowd and the structure, he realizes something is wrong. There isn't a single trace of demon aura in the air. Realizing this won't be a standard hunt, Tang Ka decides to use his cheat skill. He forms a hand seal and activates his golden nether eye, a secret Taoist art that strips the world down to a blueprint and reveals the color of every soul around him. Blue for normal humans, white for the dead, and red for demon spirits. But even with his ultimate tracking ability fully activated, he sees absolutely nothing. The complete lack of clues makes him sweat, but it also sparks his interest. If the job was too easy, it wouldn't be any fun. Suddenly, a chubby little kid interrupts his focus. The brat thinks Tang Ka is just a massive Naruto fan doing ninja hand signs and decides to show off his own water escape jutsu by spitting a mouthful of water. But when the kid proudly opens his eyes, Tang Ka has completely vanished, taking the kid's lollipop with him. Sitting on a nearby ledge enjoying his stolen candy, Tang Ka smirks, noting that his moves are high-level Taoism, not ninjutsu. He reflects on the situation. 3 different groups have already scoured the building, and one hunter even staked it out for 5 days without seeing a single shadow. Since the demon refuses to show itself, Tang Ka decides on a new, highly destructive plan. He'll just level the entire building to force it out and beat it to a pulp. The next afternoon, the renting agent is back at his office, complaining about missing his performance bonus because he had to give police statements about the dead tenant. But his mood instantly brightens when a cute girl with twin pigtails walks through the door. This is Zhuang Xiao Ran, and she's about to flip his terrible week upside down. With a playful smile, Xiao Ran asks to rent the exact haunted flat where the man died. The agent stammers in shock, warning her about the gruesome death just the night before, but she just winks and explains she needs a creepy location for her live broadcast. Taking the keys from the bewildered agent, she heads straight into the dark apartment, fully aware she's stepping right into the master bedroom where the slaughter happened. But for Xiao Ran, danger just means more views, and more views mean more money. Inside the haunted apartment, Tang Ka has set his trap. Disguised as a young girl, he casually slurps down some instant noodles in the exact bedroom where the previous tenant was murdered. But his meal is interrupted when a shadowy, clawed hand shoots out from the pitch-black space under the table and grips his leg. Playing the part of a terrified victim, Tang Ka scrambles around the room, taping posters of a famous pop idol to the doors and windows as makeshift talismans to ward off the evil spirit. The trap is working. The overhead lights suddenly blow out, plunging the room into darkness as distorted laughter and eerie screeches echo from the walls. Feigning tears, Tang Ka backs away, calling out into the dark and desperately threatening the unseen entity with anti-pervert spray. But his golden nether eye catches a sickly green light bleeding from the seam of a dark red cabinet. Dropping the scared schoolgirl act instantly, he smirks, marches right up to the furniture and unzips his jacket. He unleashes his familiar, a 4-clawed crow, which erupts from his coat as a massive, shadowy bird of prey and lunges straight into the darkness. Tang Ka follows up with a brutal kick, shattering the cabinet in an explosion of green energy. Recalling the bird into his mystical bag, he explains that his crow forces any demon to drop its illusions and reveal its true form, taunting the creature to crawl out of the wreckage. The demon takes the bait. A colossal, grotesque beast with glowing green eyes erupts from the shadows, roaring that it is going to swallow him alive. It lunges forward, snapping its massive, fanged jaws just inches from his face. But instead of screaming, Tangka just slaps the towering monster right across the face. He scolds the beast for throwing a tantrum and disturbing the neighbors, before casually complaining that the fake breasts of his disguise are ruining his mobility. The monster freezes in absolute shock as Tangka flashes a sinister grin, revealing that the creature is nothing but a pathetic, low-level spirit, so weak it could not even sense the deadly hunter hiding underneath the female skin suit. Woman's disguise melts away to reveal none other than Tangka, the demon-catching champion from the Yao Chengxi Control Bureau. Using a synthetic skin item to pose as a busty girl, he assumed he was hunting a lust spirit. While he praises the shadowy demon for hiding its aura so well that even his golden nether eye missed it, he mocks its pathetic attack power, bragging he could crush it with a single finger. Panicking, the shadowy creature tries to turn invisible and flee, but it instantly erupts in agonizing pain. Tangka smirks, revealing he already planted a talisman that forces any spirit to reveal its true form. Desperate, the monster reaches for a framed photo by the door, screaming that it can't be caught because it has to wait for someone's return. But Tangka effortlessly blasts it back, and the terrifying shadow shrinks away to reveal a tiny, pathetic little brat. Tangka mercilessly pokes and smacks the tiny purple creature against the wall, laughing at how incredibly weak it really is. Bursting into tears, the little monster begs to stay and spills its tragic past. It belongs to the Tan Wang, a weak species that once worked as informants for the Bureau, only to be slaughtered by other demons for helping humans. As the sole survivor, it hid in the apartment's cabinet for centuries until a lonely blind granny found it and treated it like a pet. But recently she collapsed and was carried away, so the loyal little demon has been scaring off tenants, just waiting for its only friend to come home. Tangka interrupts the sob story with a swift slap and scans the creature with his phone. The results confirm the monster is a completely extinct species, and a greedy, sinister grin spreads across Tangka's face. He realizes this tiny crybaby is worth an absolute fortune on the black market, sending the little demon into a total panic. But then Tangka's expression softens. He gently tells the creature that the granny is never coming back, but promises he won't sell it off either. Crouching down, he vows to protect the little demon so it will never be lonely or afraid again, officially adopting it and giving it a new name, Tusky. Overwhelmed with emotion, the tiny monster tearfully nods, believing it finally found a new family. The heartwarming moment lasts exactly 1 second. Without warning, Tangka ruthlessly seals the screaming Tusky inside a spatial storage orb. As the betrayed little demon curses all humans as filthy liars, Tangka just smiles and cheerfully marks his low-paying mission as a total success. Somewhere else in the city, a mysterious white-haired man checks his phone, only to see a mission failure notification. Unfazed, he flashes a sinister smile and decides it's time to make his move. Over at a nighttime construction site on Lantien Street, a crew of hungry workers unearths a massive 500-kilo antique urn. But this is no ordinary treasure. The cloth sealing it is covered in strange, dog-like claw marks, and the whole thing radiates a foul, evil aura. Ignoring the massive red flags, a worker named Old Zhuang rips the seal off and cracks it open. Instantly, black sludge drips onto the dirt, and thick green smoke billows out as a terrifying, glowing-eyed zombie awakens from its ancient slumber. This is exactly why hunters use specialized tools like the embroidered cage to capture spirits, a rare artifact that can permanently trap a demon, but only if the creature is beaten to its last breath or foolishly trusts the hunter. Meanwhile, across the rain-soaked city, a delivery girl pushes her motorcycle to the absolute limit. She's desperate to secure a lucrative deal and is relieved that the dark roads are completely empty. But out of nowhere, she slams into an invisible wall of force, sending her and her bike flying across the wet asphalt. Bleeding and battered on the ground, she looks up and realizes she didn't just crash into nothing. Towering over her in the downpour is a massive, shadowy monstrosity with piercing red eyes. Next morning, Xiao Ran's peaceful sleep is violently interrupted. Her aunt hammers on her bedroom door, screaming at her for being a shameless freeloader and a leech. Waking up with a glare, Xiao Ran knows her time in this house is ticking down, but she just needs to endure it a little longer. She's desperately hoarding cash for one specific reason: to track down the woman who heartlessly abandoned their family and make her regret it. Glancing at a faceless family photo, she prays to her late father for the one thing she needs to make her revenge a reality: pure, unadulterated wealth. Next morning, Xiao Ran wakes up to her aunt loudly complaining about her. It has been 6 months since she crashed at her relative's house, and her aunt is completely fed up, especially since she knows Xiao Ran has a small fortune saved up. Xiao Ran just forces a smile, brushes off the bitter words as a symptom of menopause, and heads to the bathroom to wash up. But the aunt isn't the real problem in this house. While Xiao Ran is washing her face, her second uncle quietly slips into the bathroom. He corners her, creeping way too close, and reveals his true colors. He admits he snooped on her phone and saw her bank balance of over 500,000. Assuming a young girl out late every night must be doing shady business, he offers to keep her secret if she obeys him. Disgusted that the one relative she thought cared about her is actually a total predator, Zio Ran doesn't hesitate. She delivers a brutal kick straight to his groin, calls him trash, and packs her bags. Looks like she's homeless again. Wandering the streets with an empty stomach, she watches a happy family eating breakfast through a window. The sight stings, but Zio Ran doesn't have time to feel sorry for herself. She hypes herself up, setting a daily goal to make $1,000 and dives straight into the grind. This girl is an absolute machine, working 3 jobs a day just to survive. After finishing a gig as a model trainee and pulling a shift at a maid cafe, she hits the streets for her favorite hustle, food delivery. For her, tearing through the city on her motorcycle isn't just work, it's her ultimate stress relief. Later that night on Lantien Street, Tang Ka is busy stuffing his face with street food when Zio Ran's motorcycle violently zooms past him. Suddenly, the esoteric compass on his belt starts whirling out of control. As he activates his golden nether eye, his vision is instantly flooded with glowing red lines, a massive, terrifying omen. Tang Ka freezes, realizing he just crossed paths with a deadly curse his master had warned him about years ago. The unavoidable omen of death locks onto a young woman riding a motorcycle, her fate seemingly sealed by a dark curse. But this surge of dark energy triggers a new awakening for Tang Ka, granting him the Black Compass, a mystical tool capable of tracking down demonic spirits and reading a person's exact luck. Standing in a massive crowd, our white-haired hero realizes that everyone has their own destiny and he can't possibly save them all. Suddenly, his phone blows up with a barrage of notifications. It's an urgent rank A demon hunting request. Instead of being intimidated by the high threat level, Tang Ka just flashes a massive, unsettling smile. Today is a very good day to make some serious cash. Meanwhile, back at the construction site, the night shift workers rush over to check on the massive ancient urn they unearthed earlier. But their crewmates are completely gone, leaving nothing behind but empty boots and shredded uniforms scattered in the dirt. Before they can figure out what happened, the dark liquid inside the urn starts bubbling, and a terrifying shadow violently erupts into the night sky. A towering skeletal monster emerges, radiating a sickening green aura. Before the terrified workers can even run, the beast blasts them with a shockwave of energy, launching them high into the air. And it gets even crazier. The monster traps the men in a massive swirling sphere of green energy, violently draining their souls. The trapped workers scream in agony before their bodies explode and are completely absorbed into the beast's vortex. Fully fed on human souls, the creature transforms, growing muscular armored legs and a glowing core. This is a withered corpse, a terrifying spirit born from pure wrath that exists only to consume humanity. But to take down a monster this violent, you need the right tools, and the system registers the threat, unlocking the spirit-suppressing coffin nails, ancient relics designed to completely paralyze and seal away evil spirits for good. Standing in the pouring rain, the colossal mummy demon stares at its own clawed hands, its fractured mind desperately trying to remember who it is and why it became this monster. Flashes of a brutal past bleed into its memory, masked men attacking with hammers, a bloody corpse, and a cheering crowd. This creature wasn't just born from evil, it was forged by a horrifying betrayal. The monster violently erupts, screaming the name of the man who wronged it, Bowen. It tries to unleash its catastrophic power into the night, but instead, it violently coughs up blood and collapses backward into the mud. The creature quickly realizes the ancient copper coffin nails embedded in its body are actively sealing away its strength, completely inhibiting it from absorbing any life essence. But before it can rip them out, its unique foresight skill triggers, a terrifying ability that lets it detect the soul and aura of targets from miles away. Through the darkness of the stormy city, the demon's vision locks onto a blinding eruption of energy. At the center of it stands a grinning young man with white hair and a black hoodie, Tang Ka. The mummy demon has no idea who this kid is, but every primal instinct in its ancient, monstrous body is screaming at it to run. Its whole body goes numb, the copper nails draining the last of its strength. But the demon refuses to collapse here. Fueled by centuries of pure hatred, it vows to return every ounce of suffering it endured, roaring that it will hunt down its betrayer even if it takes 10,000 years. With a deafening shriek, the monster lunges blindly into the dark. But it doesn't even make it a few steps. Out of nowhere, blinding headlights pierce the rain. In a chaotic, deafening collision, Tang Ka's out-of-control motorcycle slams head-on into the colossal demon, sending man, machine, and monster violently tumbling through the air. Standing in the pouring rain, the towering mummy demon suddenly freezes. It senses an overwhelmingly powerful aura rapidly approaching. Tang Ka is on his way. Knowing it doesn't have the strength to fight a high-level hunter in its current state, the ancient creature realizes it has no other choice but to find a host. The monster slams its massive hand down and spots Zio Ran bleeding out on the wet pavement. Barely conscious, she watches in sheer disbelief and terror as the colossal nightmare looms right over her. Without hesitation, glowing green tendrils erupt from the demon's skeletal spine and plunge straight into Zio Ran's ruined body. The parasite forcibly binds with her on a cellular level, invading her bloodstream and wrapping tight around her heart. Moments later, Zio Ran's eyes snap open, but they aren't hers anymore. They glow a furious demonic orange. The legendary S-rank mummy demon has officially claimed her as its vessel. Meanwhile, Tang Ka finally reaches the construction site, only to find an absolute graveyard. Not a single trace of life remains. Realizing the creature slaughtered everyone in record time, his golden omen-sensing emblem starts blaring wildly. He knows he has to hunt this thing down before the body count rises. Back out on the rain-slicked highway, a figure steps away from Tang Ka's wrecked motorcycle. It's Xiao Ran, but completely transformed. Crowned with demonic horns and a bone-chilling skeletal mask, the ancient mummy demon is now fully in control and taking its new body for a test drive. As the possessed Xiao Ran stalks down the desolate street, a stray cat blocks her path. But this is no ordinary stray. The feline's eyes flare a piercing yellow before it morphs into a massive, snarling wolf-like demon. The beast instantly recognizes her as the legendary mummy demon that only surfaces once a century. Noticing that she's still incredibly weak from the possession, the opportunistic monster decides to strike, eager to see if the ancient legends about her terrifying power are actually true. Aware of the terrifying transformation taking place, a foolish cat demon lunges at Xiao Ran, thinking she's an easy meal that will boost its power. But before it can even blink, the newly possessed Xiao Ran raises a single finger and fires a condensed beam of energy that instantly slices the beast in half. As the cat demon disintegrates, it realizes too late that it just picked a fight with an ancient monster, regretting that it didn't just stick to scavenging human scraps. Reveling in her resurrection, the mummy demon stretches out her new vessel, thrilled that her power is finally back. Now that she's merged with Xiao Ran's body and freed from the copper nails that sealed her away, her full strength has returned, and she decides to test out this new form somewhere a little more crowded. Spotting a massive metropolis on the horizon, she leaps toward the neon lights and perches on a skyscraper, looking down in absolute disgust. Confused by the modern high-rises and the indecently dressed humans below, she concludes that these people must be the descendants of the bastards who trapped her in that urn centuries ago, and she swears to wipe their entire bloodline off the face of the earth. Opening her jaws, she unleashes a devastating shockwave of green demonic energy that floods the city streets below. The toxic aura rips through the crowds, violently tearing the life force straight out of the screaming citizens as panic consumes the district. Meanwhile, back at the Demon Control Bureau, emergency sirens blare as the city's threat levels go critical. Commander Han Long Kui is absolutely furious that an apocalyptic event is kicking off the exact moment she takes charge, demanding to know why Tang Ka hasn't handled his assigned mission yet. Panicked subordinate rushes into the command room with terrifying news. At this rate, every single civilian in the Lanshan district will be dead in under 3 minutes, and Tang Ka is too far away to make it in time. Left with no other choice, Commander Han makes a desperate call, ordering her team to contact the mysterious Protector Hall and summon 2 of their elite warriors from the other world. While the possessed Xiao Ran continues her apocalyptic rampage from the rooftops, bathing the city in a massive glowing array of death, a pillar of red energy suddenly crashes down nearby. 2 masked figures step out of the light, the summoned protectors. While one scoffs at calling both of them for a single demon spirit is a massive overreaction, his partner warns him not to get cocky. Human reports confirm the target is a mummy, a rare threat not seen in centuries, and taking down a female variant is going to be anything but easy. Yao Changxi elites don't waste any time. Elite number 3, a massive masked enforcer, decides to test the waters and launches himself at the possessed Xiao Ran. They clash in a violent, high-speed exchange that shatters the concrete beneath them. Number 3 quickly realizes this isn't some run-of-the-mill spirit. She's vastly stronger than the demons they usually hunt. Drawing on her terrifying power, the mummy demon unleashes a massive pillar of swirling green energy into the night sky, spitting out the souls she just consumed. But there's a massive problem for the ancient demon. Deep inside their shared mind, Xiao Ran's consciousness is actually waking up. Xiao Ran feels her body burning and realizes she can't move, while the mummy demon starts panicking. After working so hard to escape her seal and recover her strength, the ancient monster suddenly finds herself locked out of her own host's motor functions because Xiao Ran is fighting back. Watching from a distance, the elites analyze the situation. Number 7 calculates that her speed and strength are at the elite Geo rank, though her speed is slightly lacking. Wanting to test her actual defense, number 3 moves in. Inside, the mummy demon violently wrestles control back from Xiao Ran, screaming that she needs more souls and demanding the human girl back down. Number 3 unleashes a massive icy prison attack, completely engulfing the possessed girl in a glowing glacier. But a G-rank demon isn't going down that easily. The ice violently cracks and the mummy demon bursts free, roaring that absolutely no one can stop her. Battlefield turns into an absolute meat grinder. The elites barrage her with swords and glowing green projectiles, but the mummy demon easily dodges encounters by summoning massive, jagged crystalline spikes from the earth. Seeing her tank the assault, number 7 is genuinely impressed, noting that her G-rank defense perfectly lives up to the legendary toughness of a mummy. Believing she has the upper hand, the demon mocks their puny attacks and dares them to try and kill her. But she just fell right into their trap. Number 3 gives the signal, and number 7 reveals with a sinister smile that his preparations are finally complete. Before the mummy demon can even react, she's completely paralyzed. A massive heaven and earth dual seal erupts around her in green flames, forcing her to her knees as her consciousness fades. Number 7 admits the seal will only hold a monster of this caliber for 2 minutes, leaving him to wonder, just what kind of unimaginable hatred did this woman harbor in her past life to become such a terrifyingly powerful mummy? The elite protectors realize they are in a massive bind. Because Zio Ran is unconscious, the mummy demon has automatically triggered its protective hibernation state, encasing her host body in an invulnerable, glowing green pyramid. The squad's earth chains can only hold this shell for 2 minutes, and with their current firepower, they can't even put a scratch on it. Over the comms, the strike team reports a grim update. While the trapped human souls have been released, they can't return to their bodies unless the mummy is fully destroyed. But breaking her hibernation seal is impossible, and once their 2-minute window closes, a drawn-out battle will cost countless lives. Running out of options, the squad desperately asks if there's any other way to save the victims. The lead protector confirms there is one last resort: exile. Exile is a terrifying protocol utilizing an ancient heirloom controlled by headquarters known as the Heaven-Flipping Seal. It banishes the target directly to the Third World, a nightmarish dimension where humanity has locked away the most dangerous demonic spirits since ancient times. It's essentially a one-way ticket to hell. Such a drastic measure normally requires top-level clearance from the higher-ups, but they don't have the time. Stepping up, Commander Han Long Kui makes the hard call. With lives on the line, she orders the immediate execution of the exile protocol, swearing to take full responsibility for the fallout. The Protector confirms the order and unleashes the seal. Massive surges of energy ignite around the squad as they initiate the banishment, tearing the very air apart. Blinding pillars of light erupt from the construction site, piercing the stormy sky and creating a colossal, swirling vortex over the city. Miles away, Tang Ka is still soaring between the skyscrapers when his omen compass goes crazy, detecting a massive evil calamity erupting from the exact same construction site. Realizing this is way beyond a simple coincidence, our young demon hunter pushes his speed to the absolute limit, rushing straight toward the vortex where Zio Ran is about to be banished forever. As the massive exile beam engulfs Zio Ran, threatening to erase her from the human world forever, the protectors question why an evil calamity is attached to her body in the first place. But as Tang Ka gets a closer look at the girl trapped inside the golden light, the pieces click together. He recognizes her immediately as the reckless motorcycle rider who nearly ran him over on the walkway earlier. Pushing his power to the limit, he activates his golden nether eye and sees the impossible. Her human soul is perfectly fused with the demonic spirit, making her a true half-human. Instead of backing down from the cosmic danger, a manic grin spreads across his face. Realizing this is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to explore a sealed dimension, our hero decides he wants in on the fun, and without a second thought, he charges straight into the blinding vortex of the exile beam. Back in the real world, his allies are absolutely horrified. One of the girls desperately asks if the protectors can pull him back, but the grim reality sets in. The exile protocol is a one-way ticket to a hellish dimension meant only for banished demons, and there are 0 records of any human ever surviving a trip inside. His handler, Big Sister Long, is absolutely furious, screaming that she'll butcher him herself if he somehow survives his own stupidity, while the others break down, convinced he just threw his life away. Meanwhile, inside the Third World, the temporary opening of the gate catches the attention of a monstrous winged demon. This beast reveals it has spent years hunting down other spirits just to build enough strength for this exact moment, and it charges at the golden light, dreaming of the slaughter it will unleash on the human cities. But the seal's destructive power is absolute, instantly obliterating the demon's body. Still, its regenerating core survives the blast, and the arrogant orb vows to rebuild its strength and become the only spirit to ever escape this hell. But before it can even start plotting its grand return, the core splats directly onto Tang Ka's cheek as he casually steps through the portal. Completely unbothered by the desolate, fiery landscape around him, our hero just smacks the ancient demon core away in disgust, complaining about the gross bugs in this new world. Tang Ka scours the dark, wooded area of the Third World for Zio Ran, but before he can track her down, a massive, glowing winged demon blocks his path. Drooling over the nostalgic scent of human flesh, the beast asks our hero if he knows where the fresh meat went. Meanwhile, Zio Ran wakes up in a foggy, desolate wasteland, completely disoriented. She remembers crashing her bike during her delivery run and fainting, but strangely, every single injury from the accident has vanished without a trace. Looking at the grotesque alien landscape around her, she realizes she's definitely not in her city anymore. Tang Ka isn't wasting time. He quickly subdues the local demonic spirits, forcing a massive winged beast known as a thunderclap to act as his mount. Even with its extraordinary speed and regenerative powers, the creature warns Tang Ka that rushing in is a suicide mission. Any human dropped into this realm would be devoured by the horde instantly. But Tang Ka isn't backing down, calmly stating that where there's a will, there's a way. Back with Zio Ran, survival mode kicks in. A giant serpentine monster lunges out of the fog, jaws wide open to swallow her whole. When she leaps out of the way, she moves with terrifying explosive speed, shattering the ground beneath her. She realizes some strange energy is enveloping her body, giving her superhuman reflexes, though she's still absolutely terrified of the disgusting creatures trying to make her their next meal. As more horrific multi-eyed abominations emerge from the swirling cosmic energy to corner her, Zio Ran's life flashes before her eyes. She remembers the first time she ever cried, falling off her bicycle as a little girl. Her parents had rushed over, playfully bickering over who loved her the most, turning her tears into a smile. It is a bittersweet memory of a safe, loving world that feels light years away from the hell she's trapped in now. Wrapped in the dark illusion of the giant salamander, beast that paralyzes its prey by forcing them to relive their deepest traumas, Zio Ran is dragged back to the moment her family fractured. It started when her father fell severely ill. For 3 grueling years, her mother became the sole breadwinner, working herself to the bone by day and nursing him by night. When he finally recovered, Zio Ran held back her tears, promising herself she would grow strong enough to be their shield. But the peace didn't last. Her father's illness relapsed, and this time it broke her mother completely. The next time her mother smiled, it was in the arms of another man. Desperate to escape the crushing weight of the medical bills, her mother tried to drag Zio Ran away, but the young girl refused to abandon her sick father. Clinging to him, Zio Ran sobbed, begging him to stop her mother from leaving and promising that she would find a way to earn the money to cure him. Exactly 1 year later, her father died. Her mother didn't even bother to show up to the funeral, leaving a shattered Zio Ran to be passed around between resentful aunts and uncles. After a year of bouncing between relatives who secretly despised her, they finally gave up and dumped her back on her mother's doorstep. As the salamander's illusion tightens its grip, Zio Ran relives the most agonizing moment of all, the reunion. She had heard her mother's new husband went bankrupt, and seeing her looking so withered and exhausted, all of Zio Ran's hatred melted away. She didn't want anything from her, she just wanted her mother to cry, apologize, and hug her. Instead, her mother looked down at her and coldly told her to go away because she didn't have a single cent to give her. That single, merciless rejection shattered something inside Zio Ran forever. She didn't shed a tear, but as a stabbing pain pierced her heart, she finally understood the ultimate cruel truth of the adult world. Love and kinship were worthless. The only thing that actually mattered was money. From that day forward, she swore to claw her way to immense wealth, no matter the cost, just so she could make the woman who abandoned them bitterly regret it. She spent her whole life working from the age of 15, enduring the contempt of her relatives and surviving on scraps just to build her bank account. But facing death in this desolate realm, the bitter truth hits her hard. Even with all her wealth, she has no family, no friends, and no dreams. If she dies here, not a single soul will care. But just as the monster lunges to devour her, Tang Ka crashes down from the sky, smashing the beast aside. He flashes her a bright smile, completely unfazed by the demonic hellscape, and tells her he's here to save her. Seeing the one person who actually came back for her, Zio Ran completely loses it, bawling her eyes out. Tang Ka just scratches his head, totally confused as to why she's crying again, and suggests they use this chance to slip away. Glancing up, our hero notices the exile vortex is already shrinking. He asks Tusky how long they have left, and the little demon stammers out that they only have about 2 minutes before the portal closes forever. Hearing that, Tang Ka just smirks, declaring that 2 minutes is plenty of time to play around. Giant illusion-casting gecko immediately blasts Tang Ka with its hypnotic energy. The surrounding demons gloat, waiting for him to be paralyzed by his darkest, most painful memories so they can eat him alive. But Tang Ka just casually smacks the massive beast in the face, furious that it breathed its disgusting breath on him. The demons are absolutely speechless, realizing this crazy kid doesn't have a single traumatic memory to exploit. Standing protectively in front of Zio Ran, Tang Ka tells her to stay back while he gets some entertainment. Blue energy crackles to life across his skin as he activates his talisman bodily suppression. He normally has to hold back this lightning technique in the real world because it's far too destructive, but in this banished realm, he can finally go all out. Empowered by his borrow lightning technique, Tang Ka becomes an unstoppable force of nature. He unleashes a devastating barrage of lightning-imbued attacks, tearing through the giant demonic beasts and completely obliterating the shadowy horde that infested the ancient city. While most people would be terrified in the deadly third world, our hero actually finds the slaughter delightful. With the enemies cleared, he drops his electric aura, smiles down at a terrified Zio Ran, and playfully teases that she's actually kind of cute. Before she can even process who this guy is or what he wants, he scoops her up into his arms. With a simple tap of his foot, Tang Ka activates a completely different technique, Borrow Wind, and launches them high into the stormy sky toward the closing portal, while Zio Ran screams for dear life about the height. Down below, one of the surviving demonic creatures watches their escape in absolute shock. In the world of Taoist cultivation, practitioners usually have to channel their aura into physical talismans just to use a single element. But Tang Ka just flawlessly executed both lightning and wind techniques without using a single physical medium. The beast can only watch in awe, wondering what kind of saint this kid actually is. Deep within the darkest corners of the realm, a group of shadowy horned figures watch the escape. One of the cloaked demons asks if they should investigate this overpowered human's background, but their leader immediately shuts it down. They have a much more important mission, guarding a massive, glowing entity sealed deep within the jagged caves known only as the Lord. Back in the real world, the Demon Control Bureau staff watch in stunned silence as Tang Ka bursts out of the swirling portal waters with a flailing Zio Ran in his arms. But the danger isn't over. Just as Zio Ran's eyes flash a bloodshot red, hinting that the ancient mummy demon inside her is stirring, a massive, shadowy maw lunges out of the vortex to drag them back. Without missing a beat, Tang Ka kicks off the portal's edge, blasts the creature back into the abyss, and sprints them safely back to reality. It turns out, saving Xiao Ran wasn't just about escaping the vortex. The masked enforcers from the Owl Club had been furious with Tang Ka for bringing the mummy back, fully prepared to execute her on the spot. But Tang Ka slapped the demon's aura right out of her, proving she was emitting a human scent. Since the enforcers have no jurisdiction over humans, they were forced to back off, completely stunned that a kid like Tang Ka had already mastered the Golden Nether Eye, a legendary Taoist skill that lets him see the true souls of living creatures. Back at the Demon Control Bureau, Commander Han Long Kui is absolutely livid. She issues a terrifying order for Tang Ka to report to headquarters within 3 minutes or face dire consequences. Our hero nervously agrees, rushing to debrief while Xiao Ran is strapped into a high-tech medical pod to monitor her vitals. Aftermath of the mission is grim. While the immediate area was saved, over 100 people were slaughtered at the construction site. Long Kui corners Tang Ka over the massive casualty count, but he pleads that he did everything he could. The mission was falsely classified as a B rank when it was actually a deadly S-rank disaster. Tang Ka explains that the mummy demon detected his immense power the moment he arrived and fled, using Xiao Ran as a convenient vessel to hide. Tang Ka realizes how close they came to total disaster. If it weren't for his golden nether eyes, the enforcers would have missed her human soul entirely and exiled her to the third world forever. He smugly pats himself on the back for being the Bureau's top agent, but the real mystery still hangs in the air. Is Xiao Ran still human, or has the demon permanently rewritten her DNA? The medical staff are about to find out, but just drawing her blood proves to be a nightmare. Her skin is now so unnaturally tough that a heavy-duty gauge needle snaps right off her arm. They have to resort to a high-powered medical drill just to extract a single drop. At first glance, her vitals and blood sample appear completely normal. But then, the script flips. Deep within the microscopic view, her cells suddenly erupt with crackling, violent demonic energy. The sheer force of the mutation shatters the medical camera lens, splattering blood and sending the entire monitoring system into a glitching meltdown as the doctors panic. Back at the Yao Changxi Medical Labs, the scientists finish analyzing Xiao Ran's blood and brainwaves. They confirm she isn't just possessed, she's undergone a complete soul fusion with the S-rank mummy demon. As long as Xiao Ran stays conscious, she remains physically human, but the second the mummy takes control, her body will warp into a full-blown demon. Commander Han Long Kui summons Tang Ka to lay out the grim reality. Because Xiao Ran is half-human, standard demon exile protocols don't apply, making her a walking S-rank time bomb. With a terrifyingly sweet smile, Long Kui orders Tang Ka to take the girl in and watch her. Tang Ka frantically protests, swearing he promised his master he'd stay away from women, but Long Kui casually threatens to revoke his position. Unsurprisingly, Tang Ka instantly flips the script, declaring he'll bravely accept the mission like a true man. Long Kui orders her assistant, Jinxie, to smuggle Xiao Ran out of the facility before any other departments catch wind of her hybrid status. She then gives Tang Ka 2 absolute rules: keep his trip to the third world a strict secret and never let Xiao Ran out of his sight. From now on, wherever he goes, she goes. As Tang Ka leaves to await his new roommate, Jinxie admits she's worried. Long Kui assumes Jinxie doubts Tang Ka's strength, revealing that the young hunter has only ever used 10% of his true power on missions. But Jinxie clarifies her real fear. If the mummy takes over, she's terrified Tang Ka's overwhelming power will accidentally kill Xiao Ran. Walking home through the dark streets, Tang Ka complains about his terrible luck, assuming it's just bad karma. But what he doesn't realize is that unseen red threads of fate are tethered to him, stretching across the city and over the mountains, all the way to the ancient Tao esoteric temple. Deep within the mist, Tang Ka's master uses a colossal divination compass to track his disciples' destiny, until the artifact suddenly shatters into pieces. The master stares in shock as the threads of fate violently snap, signaling a massive, terrifying shift in Tang Ka's future. Back at the Demon Control Bureau, Commander Han Long Kui gets a call from a man who playfully calls her Baby Long. She immediately threatens to wash her hands of his disciple if he doesn't drop the indecent jokes. The man on the other end is Tang Ka's master, Little Chuan, the 17th generation leader of Tao esoteric and history's strongest practitioner. He correctly guesses that Tang Ka is now forced to cohabitate with the mummy-possessed girl, bragging that predicting such a small matter is child's play. His ancient giant turtle companion Old Song worries that letting Tang Ka do whatever he wants will bring disaster. But the master smiles, explaining that everyone's fate is their own. He reveals that a few of Tang Ka's red calamity lines have snapped, proving there's still a turnabout for the young hunter's destiny. Meanwhile, Xiao Ran's consciousness is still trapped in a terrifying nightmare. Her glowing ethereal form drifts through a dark void until a massive hand reaches out for her. She turns in horror to face a towering skeletal demon with glowing green accents, realizing it's the exact same monstrous shadow she saw right before her car crash. But before the beast can grab her, a sudden surge of bright energy and a piercing red-eye flare in the darkness, cutting the nightmare short. Xiao Ran gasps and snaps awake in a luxurious, unfamiliar bedroom. Dazed and confused, she looks down and realizes she's wearing a completely different t-shirt. Panic sets in as she feels a cool breeze and discovers her undergarments have been totally removed. Blushing furiously, she tries to piece together the chaotic blur of the crash, the demonic army, and the teenage boy who fell from the sky to save her. She starts to wonder if that boy was even real or just a hallucination. But her embarrassment quickly turns to rage. Convinced she's been taken advantage of by a total pervert, she grabs a piece of dark clothing and storms into the bathroom. There she finds Tang Ka completely shirtless and casually brushing his teeth. Without hesitation, she throws the fabric over his head, screams at him for being a creep, and delivers a brutal, ringing kick straight to his junk. But getting her to focus on the threat is easier said than done. Writhing in pain from her swift kick to the groin, Tang Ka yells that he only had her stripped because she was soaking wet from their escape and he didn't even do it himself. When Xiao Ran blushes, claiming her master said only married couples bathe together, Tang Ka exasperatedly calls out his helper. Tusky steps into the room in his hulking true form, and Tang Ka reveals that he is the one who washed her. Xiao Ran screams in horror that a monster touched her body, which instantly makes the giant creature burst into tears. Tang Ka snaps at her to apologize, revealing the terrifying-looking brute is actually only 5 years old. After a nervous apology, Xiao Ran's brain short-circuits as Tang Ka reminds her that humans and demons coexist in secret, and she literally has an ancient one sleeping inside her body. Annoyed by her cluelessness, Tang Ka leaves the history lesson to Tusky. The young demon happily explains that Tang Ka's assignment from the Bureau is to watch over her and dives into the ancient past where bad demons used to hunt humans for food. A dark age ended when powerful humans formed the Esoteric Order to fight back. But human leaders grew terrified of Esoteric's power and hunted them down, giving the demons an opening to launch a massive counterattack. In a desperate final move, the Esoteric founder used the heaven-flipping seal to trap the worst demons, forcing the survivors to sign an armistice and form the Demon Control Bureau to maintain the peace. But political history won't save Xiao Ran. When she asks about the S-rank mummy sealed inside her, Tusky points right back to Tang Ka. His golden nether eye flares to life as he flashes a menacing smirk, ordering her to lie down on the bed because it's time to get to work. Tang Ka drops the harsh truth. Her demonic aura is spiking rapidly. If he doesn't intervene right now, the mummy will completely swallow her consciousness and erase her soul. Xiao Ran panics, realizing the terrifying monster from her dreams is actively making its move. Tang Ka forms a hand seal and with a sinister grin admits he's never actually tried this spell before. Before she can protest, he blasts her right between the eyes with the Tao-exclusive conscious wandering spell. The sheer force knocks her out cold, leaving Tusky staring in shock as Tang Ka prepares to dive straight into her mind to confront the mummy. Back in the real world, Tang Ka's physical body slumps over, falling into a deep trance right next to Xiao Ran. Little Tusky watches over them nervously, recognizing the advanced spell and praying that nothing goes wrong while both of them are completely defenseless. Deep inside the mindscape, Xiao Ran finds herself completely paralyzed. She realizes this isn't just a bad dream as her body glows with dispersing white light, leaving her unable to even lift a finger. Suddenly, Tang Ka's glowing consciousness manifests right in front of her. He explains that because their minds are currently linked, he can hear her every thought, and he reveals the terrifying truth about her paralysis. Her soul is slowly breaking apart. Those floating white lights are pieces of her very existence. Tang Ka delivers the harsh reality, warning her that once the last light fades, her consciousness will be completely erased, leaving the mummy demon in full control of her body while she suffers true death. But our hero isn't about to let his business partner die. He shoots her a confident smirk, promising that as long as he obliterates the demon before her timer runs out, she'll be perfectly fine. In fact, Tang Ka is practically vibrating with excitement at the chance to fight using pure spiritual energy. As the terrifying visage of the mummy demon looms over them, fully recovered, Tang Ka eagerly challenges the monster. The ancient S-rank demon glares at Tang Ka, sensing a dangerously familiar aura. Mistaking our hero for a hunter who endlessly pursued it in the past, the monster screams demands to know the location of someone named Bowen, threatening to devour Tang Ka alive. Tang Ka couldn't care less about the monster's ancient grudges. Telling the demon to shut up, he launches a devastating preemptive strike, kicking the massive creature with enough force to shatter the mindscape. The two clash in a blinding explosion of spiritual energy, trading earth-shattering blows at lightning speed. The mummy demon is completely caught off guard by the sheer, overwhelming power of this opponent. Even though Tang Ka looks like a normal human, his spiritual presence screams absolute, lethal danger. Taking a direct hit to the face, Tang Ka's expression darkens into a terrifying scowl. His aura explodes outwards as he coldly praises the S-rank demon, admitting that it takes a lot to actually manage to damage him, and now he's about to return the favor. The mummy demon sneers, reminding Tang Ka that they are fighting on his turf. Inside this subconscious space, the ancient monster summons a clone forged entirely from his centuries of hatred and thirst for revenge. He warns Tang Ka that no matter how strong his mind is, this unbreakable manifestation can still tear him apart. But the demon doesn't stop at just one. He spawns an infinite, towering army of identical shadowy clones. He boasts that even if they can't match Tang Ka's speed, their sheer numbers and combined strength are more than enough to grind him into ashes. Surrounded by his endless legion, the ancient entity declares himself utterly invincible. Tang Ka just sighs. He calls the endless clone trick old and boring, and to prove his point he stands perfectly still and lets the horde unleash their full power on him. But as the massive explosion clears, Tang Ka emerges completely unscathed, radiating a terrifying divine aura. He reveals his true overwhelming consciousness form and complains that he purposely took the hit hoping for a real fight, only to find the demon's ultimate attack completely pathetic. Panicking, the mummy demon orders his entire infinite army to swarm our hero at once. But Tang Ka simply unleashes a single, devastating blast of energy, instantly vaporizing the entire legion into nothingness. He mocks the ancient S-rank for daring to call himself invincible, before unleashing a crushing shockwave that violently slams the demon into the ground, completely breaking his form. Standing over the smoldering remains of his enemy, Tang Ka notices the demon's consciousness is already stubbornly trying to stitch itself back together. At the same time, Xiao Ren's own ethereal form finally begins to stabilize. Knowing he can't maintain his presence in her mind much longer, Tang Ka urgently instructs her to imagine any kind of container to seal the monster away, leaving Xiao Ren completely bewildered about what he expects her to do. Locking the monster away wasn't exactly a smooth process. Down in her subconscious space, Xiao Ren panics, wondering if she should conjure a handbag or a ring. Tang Ka, whose astral body is literally fading into blue energy, snaps that this isn't a shopping trip. Focusing her power, she finally manifests the giant lipstick container, sucking the skeletal demon inside while its chilling laughter echoes through the void. Even with the seal in place, the nightmare isn't over. As she sleeps, Xiao Ren plunges into a freezing, blood-soaked vision. A terrifying, gaunt figure with a monstrous grin looms over her in the rain, whispering a sinister apology to someone named Sui Kaio. She snaps awake in sheer terror, only to find Tang Ka hovering inches from her face. She scrambles back, demanding to know what he's doing, but the demon hunter calmly explains she was mumbling in her sleep and he was simply checking if she was leaking any demonic aura. He confirms the mummy is temporarily locked away, but it's still very much inside her body. Because of that, he reiterates his absolute rule: she has to live with him. Xiao Ren furiously protests, calling it imprisonment and accusing him of being a creep who was just trying to kiss her. But when the little demon Tusky asks what a kiss is, Tang Ka flatly calls the act of swapping saliva utterly disgusting. Watching his deadpan reaction, Xiao Ren realizes she's dealing with a highest-grade dimwit who has zero clue about romance. Exhausted, Tang Ka tells her to get some sleep. Testing her boundaries, Xiao Ren asks what he'll do if she just walks out the door. Tang Ka doesn't flinch. He calmly states that he'd never hit a woman and won't physically stop her, but he drops a chilling reality check: if she leaves his side, the ancient demon will break free and consume her. Out here, he's the only one who can keep her alive. Tang Ka warns Xiao Ren not to wander off as the area is swarming with demons. Exhausted from the craziest day of her life, Xiao Ren finally crashes in his bed, admitting to herself that it's far more comfortable than her own relatives' houses, and that despite his sloppy attitude, Tang Ka is a good guy who saved her life. But as she falls into deep sleep, a dark, clawed hand slowly emerges from the shadows of the room. Dawn breaks and Xiao Ren wakes up completely unharmed but still overwhelmed by her new reality. She questions if she really has to live with this guy forever, dreading the ancient S-rank mummy demon still sealed inside her. But her existential crisis is instantly shattered when she looks out the giant window and lets out a massive, terrified scream. Tang Ka and Tusky burst into the room, weapons ready, thinking the mummy demon has broken loose. Instead, they find Xiao Ren having a total meltdown over the real estate. She realizes Tang Ka's apartment is in the king of all buildings, 121-floor, 600-meter-tall luxury skyscraper in the heart of the city, where a single square foot costs $250,000. Tang Ka just sighs, asking why she's more shocked by his apartment's price tag than the literal demons she fought yesterday, before casually pointing out that her demonic tail is hanging out again. Xiao Ren completely loses it, screaming in panic over the bony appendage, but her extreme emotions trigger the tail to move on its own. The massive spiked bone whip lashes out violently, smashing the room to pieces as she desperately tries to control it. Tang Ka effortlessly weaves through the frantic high-speed strikes as debris flies everywhere. Just as the razor-sharp tail lunges directly for his face, he stops it dead in its tracks with a single hand, smirking at her newfound demonic power. The sheer speed and sharpness of her new appendage is no joke. Effortlessly slicing a tossed soda can completely in half in a split-second blur. But before they can officially shake on this new bounty-hunting business and go after that shadowy demon, Tang Ka needs to know exactly what he is working with. Just moments earlier, Xiao Ren had discovered a massive, whip-like bone tail growing from her back. While she freaks out, Tang Ka is absolutely hyped and orders Tusky to attack her with full strength to test the appendage's power. Tusky lunges forward, unleashing a barrage of massive black tendrils. But before Xiao Ren can even react, her new tail instinctively whips around, effortlessly blocking the entire onslaught. Tang Ka calls off the attack, incredibly impressed. He explains that since they sealed the mummy demon's consciousness, Xiao Ren has fully inherited its defensive abilities. To prove his point, he suddenly claps his hands loudly, and the tail instantly spikes up to defend her, showing it reacts on pure instinct to any sudden threat. While Tang Ka thinks her new demonic weapon is the coolest thing ever, Xiao Ran is horrified that she looks like a monster and will never be able to go outside. He reminds her to focus her energy to retract it, just like she did with her demonic horns earlier, prompting her to squeeze her eyes shut and force the tail back into her body. Tang Ka admits he has never seen a human-demon hybrid before and still has no idea how to safely extract the ancient demon from her soul. Xiao Ran jokingly suggests she should just join the Demon Control Bureau with her new powers, a ridiculous idea that Tang Ka immediately shoots down. Suddenly, his phone rings with a direct message from the Bureau's board. Because of the severe risks surrounding her, he is officially suspended from all missions and ordered to stay put to keep a close eye on Xiao Ran. The realization hits Tang Ka like a truck. He is completely jobless and cut off from his only source of income. Xiao Ran realizes his suspension is entirely her fault since he is stuck babysitting a walking S-rank threat. But a sly smile creeps across her face as she pieces together a loophole. Since he cannot take official organization missions, she proposes they take freelance bounties on the side, offering to handle the clients while they eradicate demons together for a 70-30 profit split. Stunned by the idea but desperate for cash, Tang Ka agrees, and Xiao Ran extends her hand to officially seal their new partnership as underground demon hunters. Tang Ka seals the partnership with Xiao Ran, but not without inflating his own ego. He warns her that the demon hunting world is 10,000 times scarier than she can imagine and that her pitiful power is nothing but child's play. Boasting that he's the most successful hunter in Lusang, he throws down a challenge. If she can track down a freelance bounty, he'll do the heavy lifting. Xiao Ran bites her tongue at his arrogance and eagerly accepts the deal. She won't have to wait long. Out on the misty outskirts of the safe district, a group of kids has lured a nervous boy to an abandoned building. They tell him it's an initiation to join their secret base. All he has to do is count to 100 while they hide inside. But the moment the boy steps into the dark ruins, the group bails. It turns out the poor kid is the son of a major corporate CEO, the exact same company that just fired the ringleader's dad. The bullies leave him stranded in the dark, betting he'll wet his pants from fear. Inside, the rich kid uses his glowing phone to search the first floor, terrified of a jump scare. He spots a silhouette at the end of the hall and thinks he's found one of the guys, but freezes when he realizes the shadow belongs to a girl. The shadow chillingly whispers for him to leave, and before he can process it, a monstrous entity with glowing green eyes materializes. The boy screams and sprints down the hall. He thinks he's lost it, but then a massive claw drops down as a voice begs him to play. But right before the monster can strike, Tang Ka crashes the party. Our hero unleashes a massive blast of raw energy, blowing the creature away in a blinding explosion. While Tang Ka slacks off playing fighting games in his luxury apartment, Xiao Ran frantically scours the internet for a lucrative bounty. She finally strikes gold, finding the perfect job, but before she can celebrate, the doorbell rings. Annoyed that Tang Ka is making her answer the door in his own house, she peeks outside and freezes. Standing in the hallway is a gorgeous, heavily endowed young woman in a crop top, cheerfully calling her big sister. The woman proudly announces she fetched Xiao Ran's luggage and got her motorbike repaired. Xiao Ran's brain short-circuits as the girl reveals she's actually Tusky, the tiny 5-year-old mammoth demon they adopted. Xiao Ran is absolutely horrified that a toddler is walking around looking like a supermodel. And Tusky explains that she isn't wearing real human skin, but rather a magical disguise item called a spirit name that Tang Ka specifically picked out for her. Xiao Ran loses it. She furiously attacks Tang Ka, calling him a shameless pervert for putting a 5-year-old in a busty adult skin. But Tang Ka is genuinely clueless. He defends himself, claiming his old master taught him that girls with big chests are everyone's favorite, and he just wanted humans to accept Tusky. Softening, Xiao Ran warns the little demon that human men are dangerous, and she cannot let anyone touch her just because she looks popular. But Tusky's response breaks her heart. The little demon admits she feels like a disgusting liar hiding her true form, so if humans actually like her, she will let them do whatever they want. Unable to stand it, Xiao Ran grabs her face and tells her that a kind demon deserves respect and kindness. Touched to tears, Tusky realizes Xiao Ran is just as warm-hearted as Tang Ka, who told her the exact same thing. Meanwhile, the lucrative bounty Xiao Ran found earlier is escalating. At a luxurious estate, a wealthy boss gets a chilling report from his suited subordinates. The GPS on their missing young master's phone shows he's still moving around inside an abandoned old mansion, but their thermal scanners prove there isn't a single living thing inside. Realizing his son has been taken by demons, the boss orders his men to post a massive bounty and hire the absolute best demon hunter money can buy. While the desperate father of the trapped boy officially posts his massive bounty online, Tang Ka takes stock of their team, noting from his files that little Tusky's true demon form is actually a rare, gentle, and vegetarian tusk mammoth. Back at the apartment, Xiao Ran is frantically scrolling through spiritual forums, filtering out the scams to find the absolute highest-paying gig. But Tang Ka is already losing his patience, annoyed that it's taken her a whole day just to find a lead. Pacing the room, he warns her that if she doesn't have a solid job lined up by tomorrow, their deal is completely off. He still doesn't understand why she wants to risk her life hunting demons with him instead of just joining the official association. But Xiao Ran flips the script. She reminds him that her hybrid secret keeps her from working a normal job, and since he's practically invincible, teaming up is a guaranteed goldmine. Tang Ka just shakes his head, muttering that his master was right about city girls only having money in their eyes. But for Zio Ran, the obsession is real. She absolutely needs the cash, no matter the danger. She yells after him that the partnership is sealed once she finds a client. The next morning, she wakes up fiercely determined. Glancing at an old family photo, she prays to her late father for a job, desperate to earn enough to finally reunite with someone important to her. And her prayers are answered almost instantly. When she opens her door, Tang Ka is already waiting with a massive, excited grin. He praises her for upholding her end of the deal and landing a massive request first thing in the morning. Confused, Zio Ran follows him to the window. Down below, two men in sharp black suits are waiting by a sleek limousine. Tang Ka is completely blinded by the dollar signs, convinced this is going to be a massive payday. Zio Ran's demonic senses instantly pick up on something horrifying. Looming right behind the men in suits is a massive, terrifying, shadowy demon with glowing green eyes and dark tendrils. As the men formally invite them down to meet their mysterious master, Zio Ran starts sweating bullets, realizing this big payday looks exactly like a deadly trap.